We OG, we OG. Oh no, G. You're not bullish enough. Yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to Olo. Yeah. Experts on reload. Yeah. You're not bullish enough. Yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to Olo. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock. Ayy. Rooms is coming. Everybody on a knot. Ayy. It's a nuisance. Ordinal Revolution. Ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, is my guy for real, bro? Got French right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro. Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, like it in the steel. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nookies on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me. Bitcoin's alive, what you gon' do? Mempool fees are high. Ordinal. Where does it start? Nobody knows. It's a revolution. Ayy, Bitcoin is the one, no substitution. Ayy, with Shizzy and Yagobi, it's Ordinal Revolution.
Welcome back to Ordinal Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin Ordinal ecosystems. What's up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We are live for another Ordinal hour, and it's going to be absolutely spectacular because Bitcoin is about to hit an all-time high. I'm over here chugging coffee so I can kind of get as much energy for today's show as possible to kind of bring that to make it happen, right? Bitcoin's about to explode, guys, and I just feel it. I feel it every single second. I just feel that it's going to absolutely go crazy. I think 72,000, 73,000, 74,000, and then 75,000 today. I feel it. If you feel it, let me know in the comments. I want to see if I'm the only crazy person. Without further ado, let me bring in someone actually sane. Mr. What's up, buddy?
What is up?
Dude, am I crazy, bro? Are we about to hit an all-time high today? Or am I just crazy?
I mean, that was the best example of trying to speak it into existence that I've ever heard. So let's see it. Let's see it happen.
Let's do it, man. Let's see what we have in the banners. Tough day to find stuff. Not really much happening today. We do have some stuff you definitely have to get off before we get into the Bitcoin price action. European Central Bank, we cut our key interest rates by 0.25. It takes the central bank's key rate to 3.75, down from the record 4 where it's been since September 2023. So, here in the US, our interest rate is at 5.25. So, and I think we're about to get cut as well, but they're cutting from 4 down to 3.25, which is crazy because we're, way higher than that. And I think we're going to get our first cut this month in June. And I think this is, what normally happens is they all kind of follow each other, right? So when U.S. started hiking rates, that's when Europe started hiking rates. Europe is actually leading the charge this time and dropping rates. Now I think it's time for the U.S. to drop rates. And what that's going to do to us here in crypto and Bitcoin, that's going to put a signal out there that says risk on. For us, we're always risk on, right? But for the traditional finance, their risk on is Bitcoin, while Bitcoin is the safest thing in my portfolio.
Yeah. Oh, you're right about that. It starts somewhere, and this is a big move, in my opinion. I think there was already some talk about was it the Fed to the banks? They said they're going to drop the rate, right? Or something happened in the U.S. system too, like a couple days ago, where they at least talked about it or something.
Yeah.
So I do expect for this to happen here. You mentioned that the jobs report's a big deal because
tomorrow.
unfortunately, whenever the jobs report is like high, like a lot of people looking for jobs, that's what the Fed wants. And then that's whenever they really pull the trigger on being able to cut rates. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. But I think it has to happen soon. And this is the start. This is kind of like you said, it was the opposite from whenever rate hikes first started. It was other countries and stuff that were doing that.
Yeah. So for economic data, bad economic news is good news for risk on. It does suck. I don't want to see anyone lose their job, but at the same time, like we need rates to come down. We need it to happen. Otherwise, we're not going to be at 750K Bitcoin next year, right? We're all trying to catch. We're all trying to get to the point where we don't need jobs, right? If you're watching this channel, you're going to get to the point where you don't need a job anymore, where you don't need to go make $30-$40 an hour to make a good wage, to have a good life. Now in Bitcoin, you just ride your Bitcoin up, right? And then, potentially take loans against it. Because eventually, it's going to be like a house. It's right now it's at 70,000, but soon it's going to make 350,000 within the next, 8 to 12 months. And, there's most houses, the average house, that's that value, right? I think the average house in the US is like 400K. So, which is pretty crazy. But I think your Bitcoin is going to be up there. So eventually you're going to be able to, sell Bitcoin for the house that you live in, or, to sell your house for the Bitcoin that you have in your wallet.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like one of two things could happen, right? The rates don't get cut. We continue on down this route. Inflation increases. It continually increases, or it gets really bad, and Bitcoin's value goes up. Because I feel like Bitcoin's value goes up no matter what. It's either going to be a hyper acceleration if inflation increases big time, which I don't think we're not there. It might happen in the next couple of years though, or something.
No.
But I think it's going to be the rate cuts. It is an election year. That kind of stuff happens this year. Like they want people to feel, comfortable and secure. So I think that everything's going to play into that narrative, in my opinion, and that's good for Bitcoin and crypto in general.
The sitting president who's running for a re-election is losing in most polls. And I even looked on most betting sites where you can bet on the presidential election, and it's like 55-45 Trump.
Wow.
So the sitting president, and that's people putting their money where their mouth is. And obviously, though, the sites I'm looking for are very like crypto friendly sites. So that could be it too for a lot of people. If you're in crypto, you're rooting for the other side 100%, because they've been against it. Operation Choke Point. All signs are they hate crypto, especially Elizabeth Warren and her anti-crypto army. But we just kind of have to wait and watch, because I think what Biden's going to have to do is he's going to have to make everyone feel really rich. And in order to do that, they got to do a couple of different things, whether that's stimulus, whether that's cutting rates, buying back bonds, because what that does is that has a trickle down effect, because when they come into the market and they basically give the bond holders money, and they go and then they go and they invest in stocks, which boosts the economy even further. So I'm excited to see what happens next, but I think that everything that's about to happen is really good for Bitcoin. And this year, 100K is going to be easy. It's not financial advice. That's just my prediction.
Yeah. I was talking to my wife yesterday. We were going for a walk, and she was just kind of saying, well, I don't understand why people in your industry don't take profits more. And I said, well, because right now is, I never get upset with anybody taking profits, but right now it's kind of like the time to accumulate Bitcoin, right? And I explained that to her, and she goes, well, you never know. And I go, I'm like 95% sure Bitcoin is going to get to like $130,000 by like this time next year. And this is not for any of you guys advice for y'all, but like I was just talking to my wife about it, and she was just like, well, you never know. I go, I know. And so it's like the mentality of like where Bitcoin will be next year. I think all of us feel pretty secure about that, unless there's like a nuclear war event or something like that. But I think we can be pretty confident of where we are in our space, right? So
Yeah, it's pretty funny you say that because like my wife's like we're picking out a vacation for August and like, oh, let's do this and that, and like, oh, let's put everything on credit. She's like, why are you putting things on credit if you say you have all this money? Do you actually even have it? And I'm just like, I do have it. I'm just not willing to take any out right now because every 1,000 is to me is like 7,000. So every $1,000 I spend is like spending $7,000. So let's put everything on debt. You know what I mean? And then next year, hopefully I'm right. But I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is. That's kind of my bet on that. I think Bitcoin's going to go up. So I'm all in on that. So I'm not willing to take out any Bitcoin right now to get me to where I need to be in my portfolio range, which is between I'd be happy at $2 million. That's my goal, 2 million. So we'll see if I get there. But
yeah, and everybody has their strategy, right? Like a mix of that and a mix of taking profit and stuff like that. So as long as you have a solid strategy and you've been in the space, you have the experience and stuff, and you feel confident about it, then keep rocking on.
Yeah, man.
So,
well, speaking of risk on, Robinhood just went risk on with a big purchase. They purchased Bitstamp for $200 million. This is a huge buy. This is a financial company, a financial traditional company. I mean, they do have crypto trading, but now they up that to, I mean, $200 million is huge, especially that's 20% of their net worth, right? They're worth like close to $1 billion. So Robinhood with this purchase is monstrous. What do you think about this purchase?
I think it's huge. It's huge, and it's a statement that TradFi is going to start acquiring entities, and they're going to probably look for cheap deals. And to them, they probably saw the history of the users with Bitstamp and what they've established with their community and all that stuff, and it was probably a no-brainer to them. And this is really big. This is really bullish for this cycle, in my opinion. I think we're going to hear about a lot more like Fidelity acquiring institutions and stuff like that. So let's see what happens here, because this is where I think this is what TradFi wanted. They wanted to kind of muscle their way in and be able to start acquiring, right? Because they definitely didn't want like these new companies to take over what they feel like was their right? Which is stupid, but it is what it is. Like money will talk, money has influence and stuff like that. And so this is what I'm seeing with this. I expect to see more of it. There's going to be the ones that are native crypto institutions like Coinbase that will be like top contenders. But if you think that there won't be TradFi people, institutions that are going to be top contenders, and you probably haven't done enough research, because I think that's what they've been waiting on, is really trying to muscle their way in.
100%. Going the other way, why would Bitstamp sell to Robinhood in the beginning of a bull market?
Attractive offer. They can rebuild. Maybe they have something in their contract, but like if Robinhood is like, okay, you can't rebuild another exchange.
Yeah.
There's like so many exchanges, right? Like the competition is ridiculous. So maybe they do have some sort of non-compete clause, but I don't know how you can hold someone to that, right? Just because it's so flooded with exchanges and all that stuff. But like, let's say they didn't, then they can just rebuild, right? Rebrand.
Do you think regulatory is an issue here? Do you think they're just like, you know what, it's not worth it for us to keep this battle and this fight, and then any day we can get a Wells notice from Gary and just kind of, or we can just take that $200 million and go build something useful in crypto? Do you think maybe that could be it?
That could be possibly. Like, I'd have to read further into the story. I don't know if they would even mention anything like that. Probably not. But it is definitely a bullish sign though for me. With the space. So guys, we have 133 people in here. First 13 minutes of the show. Thanks for joining us. Make sure on the YouTube side that you guys are smashing that like for us, and subscribe if you are not subscribed and you're new to the channel. On the Twitter side, please share the space. We want to educate as many people as possible, and also smash that like on that side. But we thank you for joining us this morning.
100%. All right, man. I got a question for you. Will Bitcoin hit an all-time high today? And you could please show us your charts.
That's a hard one to answer, but let's go with the charts first. You
gotta answer it. You gotta answer it.
Man, like I don't want to jinx anything. You've already said it, but I'm bullish on it. So I guess that gives you the answer. So it looks like Bitcoin started this morning off pretty strong, but we've been ranging between 71,000 and 71,900, 800. really kind of back and forth, right? But the good thing is that it really has seen that, like, maybe it dips down to 70,800, 900 the past couple days, but it really gets back into 71,000. So I feel like this is just kind of like brewing up, right? It's like brewing up. It wants to jump up. You mentioned the S&P hit all-time highs. The Dow Jones hit all-time highs today, and so typically Bitcoin will follow. Not so sure why it's not, pulling the trigger yet, but we shall see if it does end up following S&P and Dow Jones, and then it also follows Nasdaq, which is all three of those typically follow each other anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah,
quick,
so
the ES, which is the S&P, did hit an all-time high. The Dow Jones is about 2% away from its all-time high.
Okay,
it hit its all-time high about 10 days ago, just to be sure. But yeah,
gotcha. So it's still running though, pretty good, right?
yeah.
So
yeah, it's up today from yesterday for sure.
Yeah, and Bitcoin feels like it wants to, explode up, but we got people that are very good at, they're using their models and charts and technical analysis that says that, the rest of June could be accumulation period until the end of July. We'll see what happens. Typically, no one gets it 100% right, so maybe it's a little mixture of accumulation and bullish activity. We shall see. I'll say we've started off pretty bullish for the month. Like getting back across 70 was a big deal, and we'll see how we finish it, or at least head into the middle part of the month. Yeah, just real quick on the daily chart, you can see here. It looks like we're coming up out of this flag here. I don't know, if we're going to start another one, that'd be great. That would get us, if we started one, maybe possibly like 73 to 74,000 range, getting close, encroaching on that all-time high, which is what you said is going to happen today. So since you said it, John's probably betting on the opposite, but
Going short.
going short on it. But I got faith in you.
Yeah, I think it happens within the next 12 hours. I think Bitcoin's at all-time high in the next 12 hours. And I'm willing to put I'm taking along. I'm taking along. Let's surf that one. I'm just kidding. But all right, we're getting to my favorite part of the show here, which you like to call it the roll call. See who's here. If you are here, put a comment in the chat. It doesn't matter. Put anything in the chat. I just want to see who's here, and that is awesome. But we have in that number one spot, we have Rune's home run. Glad I grabbed some Cook the mempool Rune. Congratulations to you, sir. You are today's winner. Followed by Yazir. So close, my friend Yazir. But Yazir is always here, and we appreciate you, my friend. Followed by Danny Boy. Danny Boy is absolutely amazing. Thank you, Danny. Superfan is here. Yo, Superfan. Yo. Green Man is here. Let's go, Green Man. I walk alone. He's walking alone here. And then we have Ordinal Tweets, followed by Lackey, Lukey. Vaxzone is in a building. Broke Oshi is always here. Thank you so much, my friend. Rick G, Itatoshi, John is here. John, we do have a GoFundMe for John if you are interested. No, I'm just kidding. Followed by let's see who else. Crypto Hot News is here. Coach Catch, we like to call him, but Cash Cats is in the building. Let's see. Chief Axel's here. Dan H. Marcelio, was it Marcelio?
Mauricio.
Sorry, I cannot read. Chain Watcher is here. Joseph is here. Ant-Man, Vaxzone, E-Buck. No is here.
No.
Drex is in the building. TKO. Tree City West. What's up, man? It's been a while, my friend. Welcome to the show. And then we got Westbert St. Juice, man. Thank you so much for coming in here. Liquidity event. Yeah. Let's see. It was adopted by Bitcoin. LSR is in the building. Pepla. Let's see. Sixes. Port City Investments. It's been a while, my friend. Matt's. And that is it. Hope I didn't miss anybody. But if I did miss you, put in the comment in the bottom. Let me know. But I appreciate every single one of you guys. And thank you guys so much for being here each and every single day.
Yep. You forgot adopted. Oh, you already hit adopted.
I said him already, but he's like, yes, what a Mr. Yagobi. I did see a comment on here, and I want to get your thing on this. So Drax here says, what do you think about this Saint Nick images Casey?
No, it's satanic images.
Satanic. Okay. That Casey's inscribing right now. This is definitely pedophilic, LGBTQ shit. And if you believe in God, you should be disgusted. Can't believe people look up to this clown. Not sure if his intentions with everything he does will be good in the end, but he might have something in mind. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think most people know that, like, I'm a person of faith, and I'm a believer, and so that is something that does bother me to see that. I don't
Yeah,
know much about what that collection is, other than
I do.
I think
So
you do.
it's 1,000 images. Casey hired the people to do it. He hired the photographer. It's like some big name photographer. He hired the makeup artist and all that stuff. He's paying the people, the models, and he's getting this 1,000-piece collection done and inscribed. He's doing it very expensively. It's costing him many Bitcoin to get this done and inscribed. And I don't know. I'm not sure what exactly he's going to do for the mint. I mean, for the I guess I don't know how he's going to get them distributed. But it's 1,000 collection. It's Casey's collection. I think it does well, sadly. But what do you think?
Yeah, it's kind of a tough situation for. I feel like not tough situation of like if you're. I'm not going to get into like deep religion or anything like that,
Yeah,
but I think that it definitely puts a decision like in front of people that are in that bucket of like have a faith and are believers of that, and I'm in that bucket as well, and so yeah, I thought a lot about that, and I'm glad that Drex brought this up because it is something that is people have been thinking about, right? It's just right now you're thinking, okay, you're in the space of ordinals and Bitcoin's ecosystem, right? So what do you do? Do you start to root against like the person that created it, right? And then if you do, then what does that mean about like your holdings and your approach to the ecosystem? Or do you, in this other option, do you just try to avoid speaking about this individual? Do you try to speak out against him? And then also how do you approach it? That's the biggest thing, right?
yeah,
So I think that like it's each individual person has that kind of task ahead of them to how they are going to handle it. But it's definitely brings it back to the forefront of my mind, because it's something that I feel like personally that I need to kind of sit on and meditate on and pray
yeah.
on and stuff like that. So
Yeah, from me, my opinion, kind of the outside looking in, and I'm not very religious.
yeah,
Like I all that stuff. So for me, looking into it, like it doesn't really bother me too much. It's kind of like I don't think these images look great. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that it's a good collection at all. I wouldn't probably buy it. So like from that standpoint, it's kind of like it is what it is. Casey's just kind of showing his colors here, saying what he's that's all it is to me. It's just I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on it. Really, it's just one of those things that it's just like it's just I guess, but that's America, right? That's the U.S. That's the country that we live in. Everyone has the freedom to do exactly what they want to do, right? So for him, that's something that he wants to do. So I mean, it does
yeah.
suck that like for people that are religious and have to deal with that and being in ordinals, and I agree that sucks, but
Yeah.
nothing
I
really to
think
do.
one perspective that I could put out there, and this is not for anyone to receive, for their way of doing things, but just there's a way for you to do good with the profit that you make, right? And
Yeah,
in the way that you become successful in here, and you can still be against something, but then utilize your gain in a way that you feel like if you're a believer in God or whatever your faith is, to utilize that. And that's
yeah,
something that I'm thinking about, because like at my church, they do stuff like sneakers for kids that can't buy
yeah,
sneakers, right? That's something like I could take my profits that I make from trading or flipping stuff in doing that stuff like that. And so it's just kind of repurposing the profit that comes out of the ecosystem. And I'll
yeah.
leave it at that. That's just something that's been on my heart to do and think about. But yeah, Drex, I feel you, bud, on that. I do. I really do. But yeah, just some thoughts there.
All right, we'll roll into some ordinal news here. So Tap Protocol tweeted today, we are incredibly proud and excited to announce that our Tap token launch on CoinList has been oversubscribed. 5.625 million in Tap tokens purchased by over the 6K tokens purchased by over 6,000 early adopters. Congratulations, Benny. You were very rich my friend. Congratulations that entire because Benny, obviously the team, they get I think what 12% or 18% of this or something. So they're all very rich. They're all sitting on over $1 million right now. So the team is yeah. So that's all I can say about that. And congratulations to CoinList, because I'm sure they got a bunch of that. And congratulations to everyone but track holders, because you guys are kind of left out in the dust here. So I don't know. What do you think about this? And will CoinList pre done? What's next for Tap? What are you thinking?
I mean, the Scree Labs team and everybody else is gonna, push this pretty hard, in my opinion. It's obvious, right? Like they're the marketing arm for Track or for Tap, sorry, I should say. Yeah, it's just really, it's tough, being transparent and just being, forthcoming. I am a little bit worried about my Track bag, and it's because we know that when VCs come into a project, they don't like to work with tokens that have already launched. They like to work with new tokens to launch because that's kind of where they get their benefit from, right? But I think that they know that if they upset the Track community that holds a lot of Track tokens, that it's not going to go well for the Tap token and ecosystem. So I do think that they have a plan for that, and I'm hoping, because I think it'd be really dumb if they didn't. Because if the Tap token explodes but Track goes the other direction or just stays stagnant, that's going to be a big L for the entire ecosystem.
Yeah, I agree. What happens if Track goes to $100 million and I'm sorry, if Tap goes to $100 million but Track kind of dwindles away?
That's a big loss.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a big L, in my opinion, because Track was the original token that built the community, right? Track should always be, even whenever Pups came out, right, and they started tearing it up and killing, and the price point moved up, it still never was higher floor price than Opium ever. A lot of people were like, why is there so much attention on Pups but not Opium? But the price point never got higher than Opium, and that's how it should be, because Opium was the original collection, right? And low inscription and stuff. Same thing here is how I feel. Track should be a higher value always than Tap. But if coming out the gate, it possibly won't be. And if that sustains, then we could have a big ecosystem problem with community.
Yeah. I just feel like the minus Tap token could come in here and be like the anti-VC token, right? If we all just utilize and make the minus Tap token the higher market cap than the Tap token, that would be pretty funny. Because I think that is kind of like the fair mint, community token, which should be minus Tap. I think minus Tap should be focused on right now. I think that would be the real ticker to kind of tell them guys yo, we're still here, and track holders, man. I just feel for track holders. Definitely, I am one, but it does suck right now. I'm just hoping that whatever is utilized, maybe some staking or something, but the 6% just sucks of that supply, especially when 5.6 million Tap tokens have been purchased by people that are probably going to dump them on the community. Honestly, they're everyone's buying on CoinList, probably going to dump them on the actual community who actually gives a crap. Sucks.
Yeah. I don't know. The one thing that makes it hard for me to believe is that they will misplay this hand. Because I feel like if they misplay this hand, then it really basically the VC part of it is just trying to get the launch and then a month after of all-time high and then get out. But to me, that doesn't make sense, right? Because we're not even in this peak part of this bull run where Bitcoin BitFi is what a lot of people are calling it, but Bitcoin DeFi hasn't even really got going, and the money, all the liquidity and capital isn't in these other ecosystems yet, and you got to be there for you to maximize your benefit of token prices. And so I think that they know the cards they're dealt. They can still play on Tap stronger, with marketing, but at the same time make sure that the Track price point is healthy. because if they just neglect that, that's where I think they will go wrong and they will lose their community quick.
100%. But we do know that Track is supposed to be a decentralized indexer, right? And Tap is this protocol. It's two. You can say it's two very different situations, right? And utilities. So Track's going to be locked up to secure the centralization of the indexer. For the indexer to be decentralized, you need a governance token, and Track could be that. You know what I mean? The more Track stake, the more say you have in the indexer. But like, I don't understand that though, right? I don't understand why you need governance for an indexer. Indexer is an indexer. It's just there to, it's kind of like, I don't understand why Chainlink has, as a token. It's because like they're just an oracle at the end of the day. It should be
governance is governance, right? So like if they're going to make large decisions, for example, I know that Track is building out a decentralized indexer for the Ordinals ecosystem, right? If the governance system was in effect right now, then that would be voted on. If they, they would pursue doing that, right? But I also think that that's pretty big. And if the inscription ecosystem, Meta continues to build out, then they could, hop on different chains and be the decentralized indexer for that.
Gotcha.
So we got to remember too, a lot of, love it or hate it, a lot of part of success in cycles are the hype success, right? Like narratives, words, buzzwords, stuff, all that stuff works together. And you can make it sound like amazing, like an amazing like chain tech indexer, all these things, and you'll benefit as long as like we're in the bull run, right? So I think you got to remember that like Track could still do very well if they're known as like this, interoperable or oracle type of situation where they're indexing like on different chains and stuff like that. And it could play on that narrative pretty hard and do decent. We'll see what they do. They have a lot of, I'd say probably work, because now they have to maintain two different tokens.
Yeah, I agree. I just hope Benny doesn't forget about the Track holders. So I hope. I don't think he will, but 6% airdrop was pretty pathetic. But moving on here, Unisat Pizza to airdrop in 48 hours. Unisat, a company that Benny hated, is giving away a crap load of tokens for free. Free claim. You claim the PIZZA BRC 25-digit ticker to basically, and now they got fully minted out. And now within 48 hours, you're gonna have your pizza in your wallet. They're going for I think almost $2 right now. I want $1.50 to $2, which is incredible because every single wallet that I own, and I have over 11 wallets, minimum had 100 pizza in it. So that's pretty cool. 100 pizza claim. I haven't received them yet, but what do you think about pizza? Can pizza really be that push that the BRC20s need?
I mean, it can, right? This is sort of like a runestone situation to where if you've been in the space or if you've had activity on your wallet, then you'll get the pizza, or you claimed it, right? If you claimed it.
Yeah.
And so it can, but I think it could last like maybe like a week or so, maybe 2 weeks, right? I think they're gonna have to do something bigger than that to really, bring the energy back to that space. But hey, look, Ordi's like running right now, which is crazy. It's gotten to $58. So BRC20s are not done. I know people feel like that they're pretty much done, but they're not. Like when Ordi's still running like that and they're building stuff out and stuff like that. I think that, pizza is obviously like a big event, so this needs to be positive. I think it will, but I think there's going to be a lot of people that end up selling their allocation pretty early.
Yeah, I'm going to be selling my allocation probably pretty early. I'm not bullish on BRC20s at all. I only own 2 BRC20s. That's Ghosty and Track, and they're potentially tap tokens, right? Or the basically. So, I think with runes now, BRC20s is going to kind of go by the wayside there. I think that if you need a transfer description, you're not going to make it, and you can say BRC BRC 20 2.0, whatever, but it's a bridge. You have to bridge there. And then you can say something about OpCat, right? But then if the OpCat comes alive, then why wouldn't you just use ZK rollups, right? Like, why would you use this bridge that these guys are making when ZK's been building for over 2-3 years now, and it's probably going to be an absolutely amazing chain? And if you can just bridge over to there, why wouldn't you use ZK Stark? Or what's already being built with Merlin and stuff, where the bridge enables that as well. So it's going to bring more competition. So I think the OpCat is not good for the BRC20 ecosystem. I think they need OpCat not to happen for them to be successful.
Yeah, I disagree on that. I think that it will make it a lot more easier to bridge from meta protocol to meta protocol, kind of like what we said yesterday, that Polkadot type of ecosystem situation.
Yeah.
And so I think that, we'll see in the future if we come across this bridge, but like, I think that that we can have this multi-meta protocol ecosystem with OpCat on the chain and bridging to each other, and just functionality will be more automatic and stuff like that, as well as like the main support of Bitcoin layer 2s and side chains, right? So I think we got to kind of be careful and not necessarily like have our minds trapped into the way that Ethereum does things. And this is Bitcoin, this is Bitcoin. We've already done things differently because of the limitations. So there's been a lot of stuff that's built out the past year, right? Now, I don't have a hard time thinking that just goes to the wayside and gets tossed away just because OpCat gets added. No, I think that most of the building will have stayed and be utilized and be innovated upon. That's my thoughts on it. But obviously we're just speculating, right? We don't know. OpCat's not here and all these things. But the one thing I think we can be excited about is that, hey, look, we are looking forward to these situations. You know what I mean? Like we are moving forward into making this on-chain economy on Bitcoin better. And that's all that matters to me.
I agree. All right, let's take a look at some of the other runes markets. So we got a lot of red in the markets today, guys. We got Feihu in that number one spot, down 2.9% on the day. Whoa, what is going on with this one? Why is Pups up 964%?
Is that right?
That can't be right. Market cap's 222 million. That's not right. Why is that there? Dude, that's 1,000%. Oh, you know what could have happened? Somebody could have put a crazy order in, super cheap, on accident. Maybe someone fat fingered something.
Yeah, maybe, but I see. It's what I'm seeing for the market cap is 220 million. But hold on. So 308 sats. No, dude, there's 308 sats. If you go over there, you can see, click on it. You'll see right there. It says 308 sats is what's available to the right.
Yeah, I get it, but like it was at 2.9. Like I don't understand on 20 in 24 hours. Like,
so someone basically bought up all the floor.
Okay.
And now, you know what I mean? And now they pushed it to 308, which is crazy. Yeah, maybe they were waiting on the right time to do that, but that's definitely not something I expected to see.
Okay. It kind of fixed itself now. Now it's up 5%.
Yeah, it's up 5%, but still the market cap's still 220 million, which is really, really good.
What was it yesterday? Like 150? I
think so. I mean, it was going up from where it was, but like not 220. Yeah. So that's interesting.
All right, I got Dog Go to the Moon in that number 2 spot, sitting at 12.42 sats, down 6% on the day. R6 Genesis Rune, down 6% at 16.25 sats. Pups World Peace is the one we're just talking about, 308 sats, up 5% on the day. BAMK of Nakamoto Dollar, down 2% on the day. Epic having a pretty good day, up 6%, sitting at 104 sats. Decentralized, down 7% on the day, sitting at 4.399 sats. Satoshi Nakamoto sitting at 4,125 sats, up 7% on the day. Lobo the Wolf Pup, down 11%. Lobo really is kind of a derivative play, or I guess leverage play on Dog Go to the Moon. Dog Go to the Moon goes down 6%. Lobo follows at 11. Dog goes up. Lobo doubles. So that's, if you're looking for leverage on Dog, just take a Lobo bet. I've been actually just watching that. It's pretty accurate. Runes X up 18%. The Runix token up 7% on the day. Wanko Manko Runes up 9% down 9% on the day, which is weird because Casey. Oh, it's up 28 cents.
Yeah, it's at 31 cents.
Are not right on these percentages. They're just not
remember,
right.
like I think those are correlated to the volume. So I don't think
price, though.
Does it say price? Okay,
Yeah.
well then I'm wrong. I'm wrong on that. Yeah, that's weird.
So I don't know. We got Waddle Pengu sitting at 26 sats. Zbit Blue Bitcoin 1,181 sats. Gob is gob at 11.6 sats. In the 16th spot, we got Cats in the sats. This is down pretty bad, actually. 27%, but I think it's down more than that. The Donald Trump is down a little bit from 17 sats to 15 sats yesterday. Bones of Bitcoin sitting at 0.499. This had a good day yesterday, but is down a little bit today. $1 billion cat. This one that's been absolutely flying, sitting at $9 million market cap. Meme Economics sitting at a $9 million market cap as well. And then Mr. Yen, obviously killing it right now. He was mentioned by Casey on the Hell Money podcast yesterday, sitting at $7.8 million in market cap at 38 cents. Congratulations to all Mr. Yen holders, man. You guys are up 4x from the bottom
Mr.
here.
Yen always wins.
Crazy. So what do you think about kind of like this red day with a few tickers that are up today?
I think, probably healthy pullback, right? Everything was green yesterday, the day before. I hope this isn't the end of this first runes run. That's what I'm. We're looking at Dog Go to the Moon. It's pulled back. Yeah. What is it? 887 right now. Market cap.
Yeah, it's 887. Yep.
Yeah.
Then,
so
how much?
And it was all the way to 950. So that's a pretty substantial little pullback there.
Yeah.
It all depends upon Dog, I feel like, right? Like if it can get that listing, it can get across 1 billion, then we're still alive. If it doesn't get the listing and or if Bitcoin also like really breaks out and hits that all-time high, those are two different roads that could go down. The space could go down to where it benefits and does well and comes back up. But if Bitcoin goes down, no listing, then this could be the end of this first runes run up. And if that's the case, how do you feel about the first little run up?
If this goes down from here and it forms kind of like I guess not a hedge. It kind of forms this thing goes down. I just don't see it going down because like I just see if it gets anywhere near 9 sats again, I mean I'm going all in on this thing. I think you have Leonidas pumping this every single day. Like I would love for this to get to back 9 cents. I don't think a lot of people are, and that's one thing I always say. Like smart money doesn't buy tops. They don't buy up here. They don't do it. They buy dips and they buy bottoms. And, so I think if smart money want to get in here right now, they're probably the reason why this has been so like sideways instead of down, right? It's not down at all. It's really sideways. And I think there's a lot of accumulation going on right now. I truly believe that. I think by some big entities too. So, but they don't want to buy. They're not sitting there and they're just buying a whole crap load. They're buying here and there. So I don't know. I think this is accumulation zone. And I just do not see this getting below 11 sats at all.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see, right? Like I said, I think one of those two things needs to happen for us to continue this runes run. If neither happens, then I think we're done for this first run up. Then we could see Dog come back to like $500 million market cap, kind of like what Ordi did the first time. And it got lower. Ordi got lower than that. It, got really low. So we'll see. I think we all need to cheer on Bitcoin to see, because I think that's the safest bet for the short term is if Bitcoin can cross that. Because the Binance listing or whatever listing for the major exchange, that could take some time. We don't know when, that would be ready.
So. Yeah, man. But that's the thing too, is like it could happen at any moment. You know what I mean? Like Kraken, crypto.com, Binance, it could happen at seriously any moment. You could see just the entire runes ecosystem really just fly up, man. Absolutely kill it. So
like I get terrified whenever I'm in a short on Dog because of that. Like I'm just like sitting there like trying to get out of a short play because I'm like any moment I'm like literally checking typing in $, dog, and on my Twitter and just refreshing because I'm like, as soon as I see like listed on Binance, I'm closing it. You know what I mean? And because that's like a candle that you just can't. You know what I mean?
No,
You're not gonna be able
that
to
would be
stop that
it's gonna be a
candle
god
for
candle. Yeah,
that's a liquidation candle.
for sure.
And so, you know, I try not to get into shorts unless it's so obvious, you know, for it's been overbought for so long or something.
Yeah, for sure. I did see someone say they can see dog getting to 1.2 cents, and I think that happens when the Binance listing happens. I think 1.2 cents is definitely in there. That gives us that $1.2 million market cap, and that would be absolutely amazing for this ecosystem, amazing for dog holders. I think that would really be. They talk a lot about you know, like you know, price discovery. That would be price discovery for dog. That's when a lot of people would have access to dog that don't have access to them. Not everyone is smart like us and can get can buy on Magic Eden, right? I'm serious. A lot of people that's kind of like said, oh, I got to open up a new wallet. I don't want to do that. I gotta go send Bitcoin to the wallet, wait 10 minutes, go buy something on Magic Eden, wait 10 minutes. So people are not willing to do that, but they're willing to hold dog. So I think that will really open up a lot of liquidity for us to get on Binance. I think what happens though is you get on Binance, you fly up to 1.2, and then they short you down back down to 1 penny before they start buying it back up. So we'll see.
Yeah. Yep. Do. All right. What else?
Did you see this one? Here? I'm looking for a man in finance.
No.
It's like this girl, whatever. Something they made it into a song. She's like, I'm looking for a man in finance, 6'5", green up blue eyes or something like that. And they made it into a rune now. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, there's a lot of memes that have popped up in the runes ecosystem as of late. That some of them have done really well, like that $1 billion cat. I know that one's done well. You know, but the one that stays very strong always is Mr. Yen, man. Like, floor be strong. It's at its all-time high right now, 38 cents, and it hasn't budged down. You know, so the holders believe in Mr. Yen. I'll tell you that.
Yep,
I'll tell you that.
Can Mr. Yen go to $1?
Yeah, I think so. I think it can. I think it could get higher than $1. As long as whoever's behind that Twitter account needs to stay there, be paid full time, and just keep pumping those memes out, because that's where he like tops himself like almost every day, like with a better one. He had like the Mr. Yen and the Backstreet Boys. That one was awesome. The Best Around from Karate Kid. That one was good. And then the one where he
takes a train.
Well, that's the OG one, right? Like that one's the best one, where all those Japanese guys are in the behind dancing like that while they're drinking beer. It's funny.
But at $1, this is kind of bullish for me because it'll be between Wenko and RuneX. At $2, it's still not in the top 10.
Yeah.
At $2. At $3, it gets into the top 8. At $4, it's barely top 5.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
bullish.
You're working with you're going against like giants in the top 4, right? So those are all
once you get up to Lobo, Satoshi, and Decentralized, you're messing with the giants. So really the top 10. Once you get in the top 10 and get anywhere near Satoshi Nakamoto, I mean, you're dealing with the big boys now. You're in a different game. You're out of the minors for sure. You're in the majors.
Yeah,
getting in that top 10. But like I said, getting to, number 11 would put at $2. That's a 4x from right here, 5x from right here. So, shout out Mr. Yen holders. Let's take this thing to $1. But
come on, Mr. Yen, what's your plan? It's
down. Would you buy here though? If you didn't have any Mr. Yen, would you buy here at 38 cents? Or would you go for a pullback?
Maybe a little bit of a pullback, if I'm being honest. And a little bit better entry than that probably. But remember, stuff like BTCS got up to like I think $6 to $8 or something. Yeah. And it's 21 million supply too. So you had a lot of BRC20s that jumped up to 100 million, 20, 50, $100 million market caps, I just feel like the meme power on this one is really, really good. But we'll see. I see. This is something that I feel like if it was on like Ethereum or Solana, it'd already be at like a $50 million market cap, because like people jump and gravitate to like memes that they like, that they, that makes them laugh every single time. And that's whenever I play any of his new videos, I laugh at least once. And I send it to like my brother just to make him laugh, you know what I mean? Or somebody. And I think that like the meme effect that it has, I don't think there's anything better in the Runes ecosystem than Mr. Yang. And I'm not saying that, yes, I am a holder of it, but because of that, that's why. Like usually I don't like buy into too many memes for that much or hold on to them for that long. Obviously, I did spray and pray strategy, but this one was the one that I got in a little bit later. It wasn't. I didn't mint it. I didn't do anything like that. Once I saw like the stuff that the Twitter account was putting out, I was just like, okay, I'm in on this one.
Yeah, for sure. I kind of want to ask you a question here. So I was going through here last night, and like I'm begging for a utility play. Right. I know people are like, oh, that's not runes. Runes are supposed to be, this Bitcoin casino, meme casino. But like, it kind of just makes me bullish on Bank of Nakamoto because it is the only utility play. We think that our 6th Gens protocol is going to be a utility play, but we don't know. We think decentralized might be some type of utility play, but we don't know. But right now, we know for sure that Bank of Nakamoto is the stable coin, and that's their token is the governance token for that stable coin. So I don't know. Are you feeling that way at all, or are you just happy with this meme casino that we live in right now?
I mean, it's memes first always, right? And so once that runs up, there will be more utility plays that come out.
Yeah,
but
because we do know that Fluid has a token that'll be a rune. We do know Liquidium has a token that'll be a rune. I'm just begging for some type of utility. Ordinal Hive. I'm just begging for some type of utility.
There's a lot actually. There's a lot. There's a lot of runes that are utility runes. They're just not being like heavily marketed right now.
Yeah,
because they're still building out the stuff. There's a lot that you just named. Right. And some of them are doing their like being on side chains, whether it's Merlin or somewhere else, as well as native Bitcoin. Right. And so the utility stuff will definitely start to show its face. But right now it's definitely memes. And that's always how it's been. It's always memes kind of first run up and then utility stuff afterwards. But Bank of Nakamoto, I'm starting to think that like, it's more and more legitimized. I saw Mark Jeffries post about it again today. And so to me, that's pretty big. When you see a lot of people use it, like whenever you have someone say, hey, I put my Bitcoin into NUSD just because I don't know what's going to happen or something like that. When you hear that kind of comment, that's when I think it's arrived. Right. Because then that's whenever it's actually being used as for the utility that's supposed to be used for. And people are using 100%. It. That's the biggest thing. If people start using stuff that's why Ghosty, I think, has such a big upside. It's like there's people using it, using it to solve a pain point, right? So
well, I think a big thing for that they're going to need is Rune the Rune transaction. So right now, the only thing you can do with that stablecoin is you can't buy Dog Go to the Moon with that stablecoin right now. Right, you're going to have to sell it back into Bitcoin, wait the 10 minutes, and then buy Dog Go to the Moon with that same Bitcoin, right? But by that point, you might have missed your entry. So that's the only reason why holding that NUSD, it might not be a good idea, because you're waiting a full block just to get your Bitcoin back, just to be able to buy in that dog, right? So to me, it's like that's not the smartest way until there's a rune to rune marketplace, and we think Fluid can be that, right? The Fluid DEX, it's rune to rune. That would be, if I can just trade my NUSD for Dog Go to the Moon, that's when I think Bank of Nakamoto really takes off, is when I can go from rune to rune and go from NUSD to Dog, and then stuff it gets priced in USD instead of Bitcoin. That's when really take off, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, no, great point there. Guys, we got about 6 minutes left before the Ordinal After Hour, so keep putting your questions in there. There's quite a bit of comments in the comment section, so we appreciate that. Just keep putting them in there, and we'll get to them.
Real quick, so this is our top 10, right? Our top 10 reads off as Runes X, Bitcoin, Lobo the Pup, Satoshi Nakamoto, Decentralized, Epic, Bank of Nakamoto Dollar, Pups, World Peace, Arsic, Dog Go to the Moon, and ZZZ Fehu. How different, let's just say 6 months from now, let's just say January 1st. How different is this top 10? Do you see any of these that are here now besides Dog? I think we both agree on that Dog will be in the top 10, if not top 5. Are any of these still here in the top 10?
Yeah,
because you got to remember
definitely.
Liquidium, Dirt Token, Fluid Token,
Yeah,
like
but
you said, Rothium, Dex Token.
do you remember when BRC20s, their top 10 that was constantly on Unisat? Like there was
Yeah,
a lot that just stayed there forever. Like Punk
but
was
there was
on
no
there.
utility tokens though. They were
Yeah, I
all
mean, yeah, you had Track, you had
yeah,
what Ghosty came out later.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
This was
like
never
of
the top
course,
10.
yeah, yeah, you're right. It was Track was one of them. Sats was spoken about as a utility because of the fees structure and
Yeah,
stuff like that. So those two, yeah. But like, the thing about that is that I think there will always be some of these early ones that come. I mean, you love it or hate it, like first is first is the thing in our space, but
yeah,
it's always been a thing a little bit, right? If you think
yeah,
about like from the existence of crypto, Bitcoin was number one, has remained number one. Litecoin and some of these other ones that came in afterwards are still like higher market caps in the entire ecosystem. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like no one uses Litecoin's chain.
yeah.
They tried to do the inscription thing, but no, it really never caught, right?
No,
And so I think there will be some of these that were the early arrivers that will always remain there. There'll be some that fade off forever and stuff. But like I think the top ones that have like those $100 million market
yeah.
caps, those will probably still be here.
Well, let me ask you. Fehu is top 10 in 6 months.
That one is the one that's like the wild card, right? Because we don't
Yeah,
even know what the heck they're doing,
yeah,
and they don't care to tell us. I mean, I feel it's so weird. I feel like they're just kind of like,
yeah,
keep getting, antsy and stuff like that. Like they're playing with us with it. And I'm just like, all
yeah,
right, whatever, man. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. It could definitely be still there if they have something
yeah,
big, which I just can't see them not having something like some big rollout because number one, Rune, they spent a lot of money to do that. They've
yeah,
did a little bit of this weird like ghost marketing type of thing. It just has to be something legit because I'll say this: if it's something like a pre-sale or a something like that, it will just be extremely deflating and disappointing if it's not something big in a positive way.
I'm 100% sure it's going to be a pre-sale. I just had that feeling, and so it's a quick guess. But like, if I had to put my money on this, if I was able to short this, I would. That's how that's that honest with me. Like, I think this is going to have a pre-sale, and I just think that they have 99% of the supply. If Fehu was a real market cap, right? Let's just say the 111 million was all that was, it would have it would be like it would be $30 million. It would be Fehu would be in the top, barely in the top 10. It would be in the top 11. So,
Yeah,
and if they have a pre-sale, this is going to $1 because now there is 2 point what are on the circulating supply, but it's going to be crazy. It's going to be a lot of tokens. It's just going to be insane. So I just think, yeah, this is going to be a pre-sale. I'm hoping they're building something. I'm hoping this is a utility because that's the only reason why it would actually do well. But if or let's just say they just, what happens if tomorrow we wake up and they throw 1,000 on the market? Like what does that do? Or
yeah.
1 million on the market, like double the supply tomorrow. They could easily do that with no problem. So this one's scary to hold, and I'm going to say no. I'm going to say this is not in the top 10 in 6 months. Dog Go to the Moon, top 10
Of
in
course.
6 months.
Yeah,
Okay. I think we both agree with that. RSIC Genesis Protocol, top 10 in the next 6 months.
I think so. By the way, we forgot to talk about this. RSIC Runecoin just got added to Surf.1. So
Did it really?
yeah, so you can trade leverage with Runecoin on Surf.1 on Merlin.
Whoa,
So to
that's
me,
huge.
that's a big move, right? Because they've already got added to Gate. They got added to OKX2, I think.
Yeah.
And so the traders will start trading this token. We'll see if it helps increase like the market cap and volume and stuff like that. But I think it does. And if they release something that's, big, huge, that's even on top of that, right? So I think they remain there.
Was that the only ad today for Surf?
No, they added another. They added ULTI. I'm not sure what that one is, but yeah, they're adding tokens, guys, and I love that because Dog Go to the Moon
dude,
has been my best. Yeah, Dog Go to the Moon has been my best token to trade on there, but it's dangerous because sometimes out of nowhere,
down it goes. For sure. Okay. Let's see. Pups World Peace top 10, 6 months.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Bank of Nakamoto dollar top 10 in 6 months.
Another wild card. Just kind of like if it's continues the way it's going, and not just market cap. I'm talking about like what I'm seeing. Then I think it will.
Epic top 10 in 6 months.
No.
Okay. Decentralized top 10 in the next 6 months.
No.
Okay.
I don't think
Satoshi Nakamoto.
Wild card. I feel like it definitely runs hard.
Yeah.
The way that like Dog goes and stuff. Like it got to $3.65 yesterday. Right. So I was sitting there and I was like, wow, like Satoshi Nakamoto is one of those tokens that will give you like an indicator of how the runes ecosystem is feeling at that moment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like things bullish in runes, Satoshi Nakamoto is green. Things bearish in runes, it's red. I mean, it literally is that way from what I've seen.
A little bit of Wolf Pup.
No, I'm gonna say no.
Okay. Runes
Wolf Pup could be like on the outside though.
Like 11, 12.
Yeah, to 15.
Okay.
Decentralized too on that. Sorry, those two can be like that. RuneX is going to be interesting because this was a part of like the Merlin drop and giveaway and stuff like that. So we'll see how it continually performs. In terms of volume, it looks like it's been doing pretty good. So we'll see.
Yeah. So for me, Fehu will not be in the top 10. Dog of the Moon will be in the top 10. Arsic will be in the top 10. Pups will be in the top 10. Bank of Nakamoto dollar will be in the top 10. Epic won't. Decentralized won't. Satoshi Nakamoto won't. A little bit of Wolf Pup will be. I think it does end up in the top 10. I just think it's I think Dog's going to go to 1.2, and then this goes to like maybe 200 million. I think this one kind of hangs in there, maybe like 9 or 10 for a long time. RuneX, no. I think with Liquidium will be a top 10. I think Fluid will be a top 10. I think that a couple other I guess I gotta say I hope. I want to see 5 utility plays in the top 10 with 5 meme coins. That's what I'm really hoping on. I want some DeFi over here, guys. I want something, but we'll see.
We've been saying that for a long time.
I'm starting to get to the point where I'm looking at like Arbitrum and stuff again, just to kind of play around a little bit. It is, I agree, but like I want. I've been waiting now a whole year for something, Just
great things takes patience and waiting.
Yeah. I mean, I will always be an Ordinal. I love Ordinals. I will always be here. I was early to Ordinals. I made a crap ton of money off Ordinals. I'm loyal here.
I mean,
but like,
we're Ordinal Revolution.
I need something.
You don't need to say that. Like we're staying. Yeah. Like we're stuck. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're here.
We can't go anywhere else. Like we're committed at this point. But let's get into the after hour, guys. Thank you so much. 341 people in here. We appreciate every single one of you guys. We're having like a tough show today. Because there's not much news to talk about, so we're trying to get through it the best we can. We appreciate every single one of you guys for being here and putting up with our nonsense. But
and Rune's down, so I kind of expected it to be a little bit slower, but it is what it is. Like we show up every day, and for the ones that show up every single day, doesn't matter if it's good or bad day in the markets, we commend you guys because it sometimes it's like waking up early, going to the gym. Sometimes you're just like, okay, I got to see what's going on still. So, but let's get to these comments. We're going to start off comments and questions here. Superfan says all-time high territory. Let's go. Yes, Superfan, what is up? What's good? Superfan is a developer in the Lambda space. Bitcoin Heroes, look out for that project. Some crazy stuff coming out of that. I Walk Alone says, looks like Dog took a little dip to wash out paper hands. Get ready to run. We'll see how long this pullback happens. Like I said, I think there's 2 things that really Dog and the Runes ecosystem are depending upon, and that is Bitcoin's price to break out and hit the all-time high, or a Binance listing for Dog.
Yeah.
All right. Vaxzone says, why do Solana's meme coins still have a capitalization greater than Bitcoin's meme coins? Isn't that weird? Not at all. My point, real quick, and I'll let Shizzy talk, is that it's easier. It's easier to use. It's easier to trade. It's easier for price to go up because of living liquidity, right? You got liquidity pools. So you don't have to wait like a swap meet and say, I want to sell 1,000 Doggo to the moon, which would be peanuts, but just as an example, and then wait for someone that says, I want to buy 1,000 Doggo to the moon. I mean, as much as people might think that doesn't matter that much, it matters a ton. You can see it's not just Solana, it's like Base chain, and it's Ethereum on some meme tokens. I mean, if something gets popular over there, it could quickly get to like 300 million, a billion, multiple billion, right? Like where is Dogwoof Hat right now? What's the market?
3 billion.
Yeah, right. I mean, that was like who? I don't even think many people care about that, but obviously you got the $3 billion market cap. So if we had that on Bitcoin, I would say take Doggo to the moon, multiply those by like at least 5 to 10, and that would be the true market cap if we had liquidity pools and swapping and stuff over here. That's what I think. But
yeah, I mean, if you go to a conference right now, like a normal crypto conference, just nothing crazy, not directed towards ordinals, and you walked in and you asked 10 random people if they knew what ordinals were, I'm sure 3 of them would say, yeah, I heard of that. And then if you ask all 10 of those if they have an Xverse wallet or a Unisat wallet, they'd be like, no, I haven't downloaded it yet. And I think that's why. Got to remember, ordinals is a year old, Runes is a month old. They're babies. It's going to take us at least a full cycle before people start recognizing us as legitimate, and not just a flash in the pan, right? Which a lot of people are considering ordinals to be. They don't think ordinals will be here. They don't have that long lasting feel, but we do. We do know that. But it's just going to take a little time for us to make them notice that. And Dog getting listed on Binance will do that. Dog being a $10 billion market cap would do that. Dog in the top 3 of all memes would do that. And I think we all should be cheering for Dog right now. Because that's going to kind of push us mainstream.
Yeah. And remember, guys, like it's not like when I bring it up about Solana and Ethereum and Base Chain, that's like the DeFi way of building up these market caps really quick, right? There's obviously another route like of going on centralized exchange, but that takes time, more time than doing it the DeFi way. Like for example, Doge, right? Doge didn't get a huge market cap because people were trading it on decentralized exchanges. It was the centralized exchanges that really pumped that up and to really get that going. So it can happen, but it needs to get on those main ones. So if it doesn't, like if we don't have that DeFi approach here, then Dog needs to get on Coinbase. Dog needs to get on Robinhood. Then that's something that can push that even higher than 3 billion. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. But if you're asking them why Solana and these other EVM chains have higher market caps with the meme coins, in my opinion, it's exactly what I said. It's the liquidity pools, the ease of it, how quick something can go up. Imagine what it does to people's dopamine in their brain. I know it's not a healthy thing to say, but like that's what's happening, guys. It's like these meme coins on those chains are going up in market cap so much. Like the people that buy in, they're getting their dopamine fix.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my God, it's gonna go to 2 billion, it's gonna go 3 billion. Over here, it's like it takes time and you got to buy it and wait and and check your position and stuff like that.
And a lot of those memes go to zero. A lot of them are rug pulls. A lot of them are just crap. There's only probably like 5 or 10 coins in the past year on Solana that actually have staying power, right? And there's not many at all. So a lot of them do go to zero. So, and that's not here. Runes are into Bitcoin. So like it's they're a part of Bitcoin forever. So
yep. Wait, I want to do something. Oh, here he is. Rick G said, "Long live BRC20 2.0 on the way. Let's effing go." You said he didn't say it today, but he did.
Oh yeah. Well, Rick's one of those guys who's singing the song "I will go down with this ship." So.
Yep. All right, let's see. Okay, so Crypto Hot News says, "Hey legends, Unicross has more sales on Bitmap and 48% higher floor price. Imagine when the Phantom comes, and it comes tomorrow. What do you guys think about Merlin Phantom?" I think that's going to be a huge game changer if it does what they say it's going to do. And isn't it to where like basically Phantom is where you can do a lot of these?
Yeah. When Jeff was on the show in January, he talked about this. He talked about being able to tokenize anything, and anyone can do it. Let's just say you have, I don't know, Goosenal, and you wanted to tokenize it. You can do that. You can tokenize bitmaps and all this stuff. Phantom was really going to open the door up for a lot of degen stuff, and I think it's much needed. It's really going to hype Merlin up. Merlin's about to explode in activity because of this Phantom, and I think I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, so basically you don't have to have the total supply there. You can start your own like LP probably situation, right? So if you have like 1,000 bitmaps, you say Yagobi bitmap token, and I started with 1,000 bitmaps with liquidity, and I set my supply to the token and decimal, and it starts that value of that. So it's gonna be very interesting. It's gonna be very interesting because I wonder how people are gonna approach this.
Yep, I agree.
Oh, another thing too, bitmaps. Yeah, bitmaps are definitely selling higher over there, which is ironic, isn't it? Because like everybody was complaining about that.
People paid like $400 to get the bitmaps out just to trade them for less than what they're going for over there.
Port City Investment says, "Salute, Satoshi Nakamoto is slowly cooking. Deployer owns 3 tokens in the top 10 runes. Wow, that's crazy. I did not know that.
Yeah, it's like the hammer. Yeah, you knew that. It was like the hammer.
Did he get sent them or did
he deployed them. Yeah, he deployed them.
All right, where are we at? Adopted by Bitcoin says, "Shizzy, why so serious?"
I'm just pissed off about the 6% airdrop for tap holders. I mean, for track holders. Sorry, Adopted. I think I get madder by the day. I thought I'd get over it, but I just get worse.
Yeah. Danny Boy says, "Do you guys know how Surf.one will know if I'm following them on Twitter for airdrop points? Because I'm not seeing a connection from my wallet to Twitter. I did hit the follow link.
Airdrop points for Twitter.
I think it's a part of
for Twitter.
It is. It's a part of the process, but I think it's just a check off, Danny, because it should say that like that task is checked off. So let us know if it's not. If it's not, then there might be some other issue there. I had to go through that, and it's showing that I'm good. It doesn't say that I'm following them, but like I don't have any like tasks to do.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Yashir hooked him up right here and told him, "Thanks, Yashir, for that."
All right. We got.
I think that's it. That might be it, guys. 241 people in here on a Thursday. You guys show up every day, man.
Here's one. Oh. What's your take on Ghosty?
I have my bag of Ghosty. I'm a little bit nervous that they're following, the track and tap thing.
Yeah.
But again, it's another, solid project that would lose support, I feel like, if they just neglected the BRC20 Ghosty, right? And if you increase the supply and just do 1-to-1, to me, that's not fair at all. If you increase the supply to tap, get rid of the BRC20, you got to give the ratio on the percentage increased.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you're doing 1-to-1, then you're actually devaluing what my 1-to-1 would be. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, if Ghosty comes out with some bullshit where they give up 6% of the supply to Ghosty holders, and then with the spooky token, and then don't really have a good staking program for Ghosty, then I think that entire ecosystem is going to be garbage. I'm getting bearish on tap. I want to be bullish on tap. I do, man. It's just we got to see something to tap. We got to see something new, guys. We got to see something.
Aren't we? Something. Are we gonna have Unitap on or something?
I hope so. They still haven't booked.
Okay, gotcha.
So
all right. Pelpa
we
says,
did have
Mr.
someone booked for Monday, but I don't know who the hell it is.
Let's look into that and find out. So Pelpa 333 says, Mr. Yin right 69% of the time, 100% of the time. I agree. Couldn't agree more. Adopted by Bitcoin says NUSD is a must in a bear, but will it hold in a bear? Very risky.
Stablecoin.
So how did MakerDAO do? And you're talking about NUSD, but it's over collateralized though, isn't it?
So NUSD is backed 1-to-1 with Athena USD. Athena USD is over collateralized stablecoin by the Athena team. So Athena would need to go to 0 for NUSD to go to 0, and I am very confident in Athena. I think they're going to be very special. So
yeah. Hopefully that answers your question there. I wouldn't worry too much.
Athena's going to Maryland too.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would worry more about like an algorithmic stable coin losing peg. Obviously, some of the collateralized ones have 2 USDC did. I think last year and a half ago or a year and a half ago, it briefly did. Remember? But repegged pretty quick. Kai Effect says, "What's the website for Surf?" It's surf.one. ONE. Yep.
Tim Madden goes, do track holders have to stake lock track to get the airdrop or just hold in Unisat? So that there was 2 snapshots. There's one in February and one in May. So that's to say if you held all the way through, there's supposed to be a bonus on but I don't even know. I'm curious what I'm gonna get for holding the track. So we'll see. And if you had your track on Merlin, you missed the first snapshot too. So
Yep. Ichitoshi, what is good? He says, what do you think on Bush did 9/11?
I don't think it was Bush. I think it was Cheney, but so Cheney did 9/11.
I don't know. This is like one of 2 meme coins that I know of. I think he has 3 total that Query had etched.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think about this one. It caught some momentum early. It's kind of controversial, with how people feel about it. But I don't know. Probably not too bullish on it. I was more bullish on Koala and Impala, but that thing is kind of lost its steam as well. And so I'm just, I don't know. All right. Mr. Sheedy, what's up? He says, opinion on possible market cap for BAMP of Nakamoto by Q1 2025. That's a very specific date.
So he said in 6 months from today, what's the market cap of MC Bank of Nakamoto? I think it'll be like, I think it's where it's at now. I can't see it really going much higher than this. 200 million is a lot for a rune that is, I mean, is there a use case for it? They say it's a utility token, but what is it actually doing? You can't go to their site and do anything with it. I don't know. I just think it's
138 million.
Yeah, I think 200 million CD, which is 30% from where it's right now, 40% from where it's right now. So
even if it's like a solid stable token, right? And this is going to be the governance token or whatever, side token of it, the stable token. And so I mean, maybe go look at like something like MakerDAO or something to see what that looked like heading into that first bull run. I don't know, man. Like I still feel like there has to be like better UI for it to be fully maximized. Like if we're in the crazy bull market times, I do think if our UI and UX is exactly how it is right now, obviously we still probably 10x, 5 to 10x from where we are right now, in my opinion. But like it could be like 20x for the ecosystem or higher if the UX gets that much better and we can compete with like Solana, Ethereum, Base chain, those kind of chains, because like the marketing's there for Bitcoin. That's not the problem. That's the only reason it's actually gotten this far with the shitty UI that we deal with. You know what I'm saying? So the marketing is there. It goes hard. Bitcoin is the best. It has the most liquidity on the chain, but the UI and UX is game changer. We saw that with freaking iPhone versus BlackBerry, right? We saw that with like, you know, these products, and that's how human nature works, man.
I agree.
All right, let's see. Tina says, Yagobi, why did you shave? I guess I shouldn't have. But I shaved because I accidentally nicked my beard, and it just looked really bad. But I guess you're saying that I should probably grow that back out, maybe. Mr. Sheet again, thoughts on
that sounded so sad. Maybe I should grow that back out. Maybe.
Thoughts on Nashville or Ordinal Revolution events outside of conference. So
John's going to pay for it. Yeah, John said he's.
So we're still trying to figure out what's going to happen there. It'd be really cool to, you know, collaborate with some other builders too in the space, to have them there as well, to kind of, so you guys can meet. Maybe we'll do like a collaborative event with some communities, but definitely we're trying to cook something up there. No promises, but you know, definitely we're going to be there to hang out with you guys. So like if there's something like a day or something, we're going to put out there, you know, like kind of hangout time. All right. Tim Madden says, do you all have a Discord or community? Yes, we do. So if you go search, actually, look in the show notes, Tim. There is the Discord link there. Mr. Sheedy again, if Bitcoin goes on a tear, would it drag dog over the 1 billion? I do think that. Yes, but it needs to get to like 76, 77, 78,000. 76 minimum. And then like hang out there between 76 and 78 before it bounces back. Even if it bounces back to 74 or 72, if it touches any of those price points, I think that like dog goes past $1 billion, and the entire Runes ecosystem has like this last jolt before we finish this first run up.
I agree.
Mauricio says, sorry, but what is Merlin Phantom? Yeah, we just described it. Merlin Phantom allows you to tokenize pretty much any NFT on that chain. So, you know, you have bitmaps, you can create your own bitmap token. You have frogs, you can create your own frog token, stuff like that. So it's going to be a game changer, I think, and anybody can use it.
Yeah, let's just say you have a ordinal. Let's say you have a no monkey and you want to tokenize that no monkey. That allows you to do that. So you lock that no monkey to a smart contract, and you tell that smart contract how many coins you want to get out of that. So let's just say you want 20,000 coins for each no monkey that you put in. You can do that, and then in order to get that back out, you need to take those coins and put them back in the smart contract to get your no monkey back out.
Exactly. All right. Coach Cats, Cash Cats says, appreciate your grind. Even days like this, you two keep us going. Yeah. Well, you guys keep us going too. So even though whenever there's like a lower attendance or audience day, we still have over 200 people in here. Like right now we have 242. And that means that you guys are still showing up each and every day as well. So it's not just us. So pat yourselves on the back if you're here, because not everybody does show up every day. And the ones that do definitely benefit the most, in my opinion. Not trying to toot our own horn. I'm just saying in general, staying in the know every single day.
Yep.
All right, guys, we're coming towards the end of this. Cryptocurrencies says, any thoughts on RuFi on Merlin chain? Hard to find a lot of info about it lately. I mean, I think that was just like a meme token that Unicross launched, honestly. I probably wouldn't, you know, me personally, if someone asked me, I wouldn't get into that or anything. I have no interest into getting into that. Is, you know, those were like early testing days. I know that like Voya was also a kind of like a test meme BRC20 token that did well. And then RuFi just didn't really have a great launch or anything like that as well, because it was slow, but it was part of their testing. And sometimes you got to go through that before, you know, your protocol or platform runs smoothly and able to launch more runes tokens on the platform, on the chain.
I like the next comment. That's funny.
Well, you got to answer that one since you put that out there.
Bored and looking at Arbitrum. What do you guys think about Ronin Chain? Isn't Ronin Chain wasn't that big bridge hack where it was like an insane amount of money, like multi millions of dollars on the Ronin bridge? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. I think it was 2022. The Ronin bridge hack. It was bad. It was bad. So. Now I've never even, honestly, I don't even know what wallet to use with Ronin. Not really big on it.
Yeah.
Shout out Kai Effect, man.
Appreciate you, sir. No, I was just saying that it says the Ethereum gaming chain behind it, Axie Infinity. So
okay. Kai Effect says you guys bring the substance of the space. Thanks, guys. Thank you, sir. Thank you for bringing the substance. that sounded wrong, but
definitely.
Yeah, they got hacked. Have some good games. Yeah, I'm not really a gamer though. Honestly, I'm more of a DeFi guy. I like chains with DeFi and stuff like that. So,
yep. Looks like that's going to wrap it up, guys. Thank you guys so much for 250 people in here hanging out with us for the whole entire hour and 25 minutes here. Please check out our Web3 partners because they are all great builders. We have Ordinal Hive here, which is the blur of Bitcoin. Fluid Tokens is a borrowing and lending Ordinal protocol with a DEX swap, which the DEX swap we're going to have Raul on tomorrow. I think he's going to be able to show us, how this works in real time. Rothium DEX is building on Merlin chain. It's going to be a Bitcoin layer 1 asset focused DEX. And of course, you guys have Traverse Labs, which is the #1 security solution in Bitcoin and can replace like hardware wallets if you need to, have your hot wallet secure. That is the #1 option there. We did add a new article on ordinalrevolution.com. If you check that out, it just talks about the opportunity that Bitcoin has, $1 trillion opportunity for Bitcoin DeFi, and our store is on there. Of course, you can always, check out our store and, get some gear for Bitcoin Nashville 2024. We have a lot of cool designs on there. I just picked up the panda shirt, the black and
Did you? You got that?
I got that one, and I got the all white honk t-shirt, which I love that one. So so you can pick those up there. And then of course the 21% discount on Nashville tickets if you use Bitcoin to pay, which is really cool. So I think that's it. I think we covered pretty much everything.
Check it out. I like this shirt. So get the goose. The goose is on the loose. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. 11 a.m. Eastern time, 10 a.m. Central, 7 a.m. Pacific. Check us out, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Peace.
We OG, or no OG. You're not bullish enough, oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to Olo, experts on reload, You're not bullish enough, oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to Olo, experts on reload. Mempool getting hot, everybody wanna rock, Runes is coming, everybody on a knot, It's a nuisance, Ordinal Revolution, Ordinal Revolution. Yo, it's my guy for real, bro. Got friends right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro. Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Lock it in the seal. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nookies on the field. This shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me.